Pie in the Sky Media.
Ever.
I'll point out to you when it happens. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back. Hello, we're live. Criminal Mischief Nation. Welcome back to another bonus episode of Criminal Mischief with Carolyn and Brandon. I'm your co-host, Brandon Morgan. Joining me, as always, the great Carolyn Ossorio. Hello, Carolyn.
I just can't take you seriously with those headphones. I know they're necessary, but yeah.
I'm a professional, first of all. Okay, I'm a professional. Second of all, I was kicked out of my office.
Mm-hmm.
I'm recording in a place where there are other people, and I need to be respectful of the sound in this area. So with it, and you're a little jealous. I get it. I'm a professional, and you're sitting there just with you're the no headphone person. That's fine.
I know, this is my microphone.
Yeah, see? If you're listening, she's holding up a pen, okay?
Yeah.
There it is.
Anyway.
There's that laughter we were talking about.
Yeah.
Pre-game.
I was waiting for you.
Happy Groundhog's Day.
Okay. 6 weeks. I'm ready for spring.
No, but that little weather prophet, little furry bastard saw his shadow, so he can suck it. 6 more weeks of winter. It's a bunch of bullshit. I've been to Punxsutawney. It's a nice place, but their groundhog can fuck off.
You know what? How do you pronounce that?
Punxsutawney.
Oh, good. Great.
And this isn't like the Punxsutawney Phil. This is like the 25th one, because it's a groundhog. They live like 3 years max. Okay. Right? In captivity, maybe 5.
I can't even believe you're entertaining that this is actually real. Like, you get on me.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I know, right? Like, but I don't. Now I want to know how that whole tradition started. Like, what early settlers were like, if the groundhog sees a shadow, like that's an accurate way to predict the next 6 weeks of continuous climate. It's weird.
Yeah, and some woman was probably burned at the stake.
Yeah, because of it, right? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You know what? I don't think there were any witch burnings in Pennsylvania, but there, I don't know. That would be a good reason back then, in like
I'm sure they'd come up with something else.
The late 1600s, they would figure something out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
so we've got some breaking news.
Oh yeah, you go.
Well, Brendan Banfield.
Yes, convicted.
So,
was the death penalty on the table? I don't remember.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay. But
no, life in prison, obviously.
Yeah. So for double, right? For both murders.
Yeah.
For the poor super. If there was ever an innocent victim in a murder case, it was this guy.
And his wife.
And his wife. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah,
I know.
absolutely.
I was thinking about that. I caught myself the last time, and I felt really horrible of like, and a total innocent, and it's like his wife is a total innocent.
Absolute total innocent.
Yeah.
100.
Yeah.
But the reason I think that it both slipped by both of us was because she was the intended target of the conspiracy to commit murder. This fucking guy was a prop. You know, he had nothing to get, didn't even know who the hell he was. He just happened to respond to, a kink website and like, okay, yeah, this is what I'm into. So, this poor guy.
And just, we've talked about this before, but the cruelty of both of them in different realities, not knowing what's going on.
I can't even, I'm telling you, I'm still.
And she thinks that her husband is trying to save her
while stabbing her in the neck. Yeah.
He's got a knife.
So do I. Right?
I mean, can you imagine the betrayal in those moments, those fleeting seconds of like, what is happening?
And then, but it wasn't even fleeting, if I could add to and expand on your point, because she survived for a while. And he wasn't trying to save her life. And she must have known that as well.
Well, not only that, but I don't even think we talked about this because the level of cruelty is insane. But like, he knew she had a blood disorder. So she was a type of kid who, like, when she got a nosebleed, it wouldn't stop. and so she had
She
to,
was a hemophiliac? Was she?
I don't know exactly what, because during the trial I listened to her father, and
Oh,
they were of course trying to
oh,
not allow any testimony of him explaining that they identified this when she was a little girl, and then she had to take special medication when she was pregnant, and I mean it just doesn't end. I mean,
yeah.
so I didn't even watch the guy's testimony because I just couldn't stomach it. Like I
Yeah,
just was
I don't
like,
blame
based
you.
on the wiping away of no tears, I figured it would be more
What a
of,
what a fucking tool. Jesus Christ.
yeah.
So anyway, that's the breaking news, Brendan
Okay.
Banfield. So
Yes.
when is what sentencing phase is next, I guess?
Sentencing phase is next, I'm sure. Yeah,
And
we'll
I'm sure
keep you posted.
he's remanded. He's not getting out for before sentencing. He's in a
Oh,
cell for the rest of
no.
his life. He has
Yeah.
drawn his last breath as a free man.
Oh my gosh. And his, you know, paramour is going to Brazil.
Yeah, so she's like, cut a deal later, fuckers, right? That's it.
Well, well, she could get up to 10, like the prosecutor's recommending time served, but she could get up to 10 years.
So the judge
So,
would have to get a real wild hair to give her 10 years, right?
right. And
Okay.
she obviously did her job of
Yeah,
being a compelling witness, and
there you go.
she did not hold back.
Jesus Christ. She could have my cat as her lawyer and she should get time served because they got a conviction. They got what they wanted. Why else would they make the deal, you know?
I know, but it's
Yeah.
just so awful.
Right.
It's
Oh,
so awful.
it's terrible. It's terrible.
So
Oh,
let's I have to tell you, this one was like really scary last night because I was up super,
yeah.
super late.
I got the email after 4 in the morning. I was
I
like,
know.
I said, I
I
hope that
know.
means she got up early, but no.
No,
Okay. Damn it.
no,
Oh, well, sorry about
no.
that.
But I was in my office and it was and I have to tell you, like, there's a fucking owl
Mm,
outside. And all of a sudden, it's dark. It's really dark outside, and
yeah.
it's a detached garage. And then all of a sudden you hear this, ooh,
Yeah.
ooh. It's super scary. So then what I wanted to do is I wanted to do the Lizzie Borden rhyme myself. I was like, oh, this will be really fun.
That would have been scary. That would have been scary. You know, it's funny you mentioned the owl. I just did 2 episodes on The Devil Within about shit that happened in like the Midwest back in the 60s where um, people thought that they were aliens had shown up, you know, that they were seeing aliens. There was a spaceship crash and all that shit. And both of the cases turned out that they were different breeds of owl, which is really weird.
Back to the groundhog.
It's really, really weird.
Human beings are so weird.
But they did like, and so the second time it happened, they ran this experiment where they got an owl, and these anthropologists and these whatever forensic biologists and others are like, look, we're going to prove it to you. Let's recreate exactly what you saw. And they did it, and the people are like, holy shit, with the flashlight pointing up and in this tree where the owl head looked like the thing and the tree was the body, and they thought they saw an 8 foot alien. It was really, really
Oh,
crazy.
that's really
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
kind of like, remember back in the 80s when they had those dots where you like looked at them and you had to
Oh
kind of
yeah.
figure it
Yeah,
out?
yeah, 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 yeah. And the other crazy one that they did, I mean, in the other episode, what made everyone in the house be like, no, we were under siege by aliens. They were coming at our house. Woman said, I looked out the window and the face was right in the glass. She goes, I saw the face and it was not a human face. It was an alien face. And they had to go through like a book, an owl book, like they were looking through mugshots. And she goes, oh, okay, it was
You know
that.
what? I believe it though, because last night at like 3
Yeah,
a.m.
it gets into your head.
I had to record that, and it was so fucking scary. Like I
Yeah.
almost couldn't do it because I knew I had like an hour left,
Mm.
and it was like it's so cool. Anyway, it scared the shit out of me.
Well,
But
I loved the episode because I thought I knew everything about the case because I had covered
I
this.
know.
Because
Really?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because Fall River, a huge satanic murder happened in Fall River in the early 80s. Like at the
Mm,
very, very early stages of this like pre-satanic panic. And
mm,
the network that made my TV show, they've what made them be interested in satanic kind of possession stuff they did the Fall River murders about
Mm,
the satanic thing. So they were looking for that kind of content. So um, before we pitched the show to them, I watched series and oof, man, very, very well done and really, really brutal. Like
mm,
when I covered the Fall the Fall River satanic murders, I had to leave some stuff out because for sponsorship reasons.
mm,
And I cover some dark shit on my show, and the ad sales team was like, you got to tone this a few of these parts down because it's
mm,
really, really bad. Um,
mm, mm.
yeah, and that happened in Fall River, like right where the Lizzie Borden thing happened. So there are a couple of things that I just completely missed that we'll get to in a second. But why Lizzie Borden? Why now?
I had it was weird. I was planning on doing another historical case,
Mhm.
and I still plan on doing it. And I was looking into it as I was like watching my son's wrestling thing, and I was like, oh yeah, this would be a really great case. And then I went to bed that night, and then I had this dream about
Mm.
Lizzie Borden, and I was like, no, I've already covered that case. And I was like, did I cover the case?
Mm-mm.
So I woke up and I'm not like a huge, like, I don't remember my dreams often. I'm
Mhm.
not like, not somebody who's like, and this happened and let me tell
Right.
you about my dream.
Thank,
You
thank
know?
God you're not that. Okay.
But
Oh,
I know, right?
because
It's like,
nobody cares. If anyone
I,
out there thinks that anyone on earth is interested in your dreams, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. Okay, go ahead.
I understand.
Yes.
I fully understand that. But for the context of this case, I was
Yeah.
like, have I done Lizzie Borden? And then I was like, I haven't. Let me do Lizzie Borden because
Yeah.
I thought I knew, okay, she did it. There was just so many things that I didn't know. I thought that I didn't realize how wealthy they were.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was just a lot of different things that I didn't realize. And I don't know. I feel like she's been so kind of sexualized in movies and there's just been so much and I've never really had much of an interest. I mean, not like there's anything wrong with that per se. It's just
Right.
that I feel like I didn't know who she actually truly was and after doing this episode, I still feel like I don't know who she truly was. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that that's
I think she was gay personally, and
really.
maybe even her sister. Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, think about the time back then. It's when all these people say, oh, like we're all the rightists or I don't want to get political, but they're saying how like the media is turning people gay because there's so many more gay people than there used to be, right? And
Gosh.
and I read this amazing study, super interesting, very, very simple study where how it used to be um, considered evil to be left-handed when
Mm,
all these
mm.
people were backwards dipshits back at hundreds of
Of
years ago. Like you
course.
can't be left-handed, and so they
Yeah.
wouldn't let you be left-handed.
Yeah. No, I know.
And then as soon as it was okay to be left-handed,
And even like you're an
everything's
artist. Right.
everything spiked. Look
Yeah. Yeah.
how many more lefties there are now. No, it's just
Yeah.
because it's okay. And so with the rise of just everyone being okay with it, no one gives a shit if you're gay or not.
Hmm.
Um, of course, people feel more comfortable to identify as gay. So
Well,
it's
it's so
it's not there are more gay people. There are more people that
I know.
are admitting it. So I think back then, all of the spinsters, I think a lot
Mm-hmm.
of them were probably lesbians, and they
Well,
just couldn't say it.
here's the thing that's so interesting too, is this last week. So there's a movie called Carol. I don't know if you ever watched it, but
Mm-mm.
it's with oh my gosh, why am I spacing on her name? I love this actress, Kate Blanchett.
Mm.
And it's
Oh
it's
yeah, the
basically
musician thing. She's a musician, right?
no,
Oh, that's Tar. Sorry, 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 sorry.
she's it's in the 50s. And part of it is like I started watching it like a long time ago. I think it came out in 2017, and I
Mhm.
never got around to finishing it. And it was on, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've always wanted to watch this. And it was, she was in a relationship with her husband and then realized that,
Ah, she's
she's a
gay. Yeah,
lesbian.
yeah.
And it's this kind of tortured relationship, but wonderful with this shop girl who and I was getting so nervous for them when I watched because I was like, how would you even know, and people are probably like, okay, dumb shit, we've already gone through this, we
Mm,
know. But like you reach out to someone and you don't know, and then you could get totally, it's not only just rejected,
mm.
but like you could get complete
Exposed.
exposed.
Yeah,
You got to
yeah,
be sure, and how are you sure,
yeah. Yeah.
And it was just a great movie. I
Oh,
really,
cool.
but speaking to that of just like, yeah, people couldn't be who they wanted to be.
Right.
You could have your kids taken away, which is exactly what
Right.
happened with her husband,
Right.
all this stuff. So yeah, I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
And
So
you're right.
that was a takeaway for me from it. And I got into more of the layout of the house and
Mm,
where they were when it happened and all that, which I found which was cool with me. And I mean, you had a woman on who was very Switzerland about it's
mm,
my job,
mm,
just the
mm,
facts, not to take a
mm,
stand. Come on,
mm.
give me a break.
I know.
You're allowed to have an opinion, lady.
I
But
know. I know.
she was great and very educated on it and interesting interview. And then right at the end, I was like, come on, give me a break.
And
I think she did it. I think
I totally think she did it.
100% think she did it.
100%. There's
And
no.
so and so
What
that was
I
the
want to
angle that I
know
took.
is if
Yeah.
she was playing them the whole time. That's what I wanted to know.
Well, Well, here are the two things that I missed in my research for it. And they're my two, and I wish I had known, like I wanted to go over the case again just for these two things. The one of them was how the main part of her defense was a Victorian woman just isn't capable of this. Of
Hmm.
course she didn't do it. Of
Hmm.
course she didn't do it.
Hmm.
And because that's the antithesis of something like, even though it's a fictionalized story, it fucking totally happened. Something like To Kill a Mockingbird,
Hmm.
where of course he did it. A white
Hmm.
woman said he did it. So obviously this black guy is guilty. It's the opposite side of the same kind of coin as to
Yeah.
preconceived, not even notions, preconceived like facts,
Hmm.
like going into it. So I found that really interesting because that's probably what got her acquitted.
I know. So that's what I'm wondering. Like the whole time, was she thinking, I am bulletproof? They're never going to think that I'm capable of, did she? Because like there was a quote that she said where she was like, she was doing some kind of like trick with her friend, and her friend, you know, um, made a wager that she couldn't smash this egg with in between her hands. And so she said, "Okay, I'll take the wager." And she couldn't do it. And she goes, "That's the first thing I've never been able to accomplish that I wanted to
Mm,
accomplish." So it kind of gives you the impression of like she gets what she wants.
yeah,
Even though it's just a dumb wager, but I think from my vantage point, oftentimes that's where in these like seemingly throwaway conversations, you can
there's a lot of
really,
truth.
there's
Yeah.
a lot of truth.
Well, let me
And
ask you a question then. Sorry to
yeah.
interrupt. Finish. No, I'm sorry. You weren't done.
No, 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 go ahead.
If she had been able to get the poison and kill them that way,
Hmm.
since that's a far, far more civilized way to murder someone, would
Hmm.
she have been more likely to be convicted if it wasn't a fucking axe murder?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. So then that's
I'm
that's
still
interesting.
I'm still not convinced that it would have happened based on there wasn't a lot of proof that, except for obviously the elephant of the room of inheriting $10 million. dollars.
Right.
Like
And that's the second thing. The order in which she committed the murders, I missed that. And I love that.
I loved it too.
I love it.
I
That is,
loved
if
it
she did
too.
that on purpose, listen, don't murder anybody, even if it makes you look smart. But that was fucking smart if she did that on purpose.
I
And
mean, it
I'll
had to
give her
be that.
a little
It,
golf clap.
Brandon, it
Too
had to.
soon? Is it too soon?
It
Too
had to. No, wait.
okay,
I'm
okay, good.
sorry. I'm so with you on this
All right.
because that it had to. That's why it happened that way. Why the mother had to go
Had to go
first.
first for a long enough time for the medical examiners to be able to prove it. The
I
blood had to
know.
coagulate for 90 minutes. Then I'll go get the old man because
And
then it's all mine.
and it shows how the lawyers were not willing to give her that level of intelligence,
Because
that
she's a
level of
woman.
cunning,
Because she's a woman.
because she's a
Oh,
woman.
go knit stuff and cook my mutton, whatever. Is that you're not like an axe murderer, with this level of intelligence to be able to collect your inheritance.
I know.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So I those two parts of it, I really, I really dug into. I like that a lot.
Hmm.
And I never knew why, I've thought about it a lot, why what the falling out her and her sister had. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy. We've had problems with siblings. We know how that feels. Maybe they just had some stupid fight that they never got over.
Well,
But
what I didn't put in there
mhm,
and what Cara told me was that apparently, according to your, maybe she was lesbian because she
mhm.
had a really strong relationship with this actress. And her sister, who was kind of the more straight-laced of the two, was like, you got to quit giving her money and you're having these parties. And I guess she had a blowout for a week for this actress, a huge party in the McMansion. And her sister's like, this is enough. I'm done. And that was the final straw.
Okay. So
Yeah.
pure speculation here. This is,
Hmm.
irresponsible use of the microphone. But let's say that Lizzie was the gay one and the sister was just a conservative actual spinster.
Hmm. Hmm.
And after that week-long blowout with just a bunch of ladies getting down, right, getting drunk and getting down,
Getting
sister's like,
down.
sister's like,
Hmm.
yo, I can't be associated with this because some of this stink might get on me if this goes public, and I don't want because she knew what the stigma would be if she was also, thought to be gay. So that might be it. That would make sense.
But
And scandalous.
it's so interesting that they don't talk for 22 years and then they die 10 days
10 days apart.
apart and then they are buried right next to each other.
Yeah, well, that was probably set up years before in the family plot and all
I
that.
know, but
And
you
they just
still
never
it
changed it. Yeah.
no, I think that like they could have changed it. I
They
think that
could have. Yeah, 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 they could
they
have.
wanted to be together. It's interesting the sibling bond because it reminded me of my mother-in-law when she was basically in hospice at her home and we knew that she was going to die and we're all
Mhm.
there. It's awful, heartbreaking.
Yeah.
She her sister, she'd kind of had a falling out with her sister and they'd been close their entire lives. And she just was waiting, Brandon, for her sister to come.
Mhm.
And as soon as her sister came, and she did come.
Boom. Yeah. Wow. That's crazy. That's
I mean,
crazy.
not really. I mean, it's like
No, no, no.
these
I get it.
sisters.
I mean, it's yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I get it. There are that's a powerful thing. I saw a video once that I wish I hadn't seen. You ever
Mm,
that ever happened to you? Like something comes up in your feed, and you're like, oh fuck, I didn't want to see. Not something, like violent or disturbing, but something that's just it lands a little too hard emotionally. And this was like a 94-year-old brother uh saying goodbye to his 96-year-old brother in hospice. And I'm just like, oh
this, Brandon, was what it was like.
yeah, yeah,
And they were not emotional people.
right, right.
Like they
Uh,
were very kind of stoic people.
yeah,
The especially my husband's mom. She was very generous and loving, but she was not a huggy, feely
right.
type person. But her sister was more. Anyway, it was just, I mean, I could write a book about
No,
their
it's
relationship.
listen, did you read the Odyssey by any chance?
No.
There's a million subplot, but what got me when the first time I read it, I was like 16 or 17. And so a lot of it got by me.
Hmm.
But the one thing that landed, at least in the translation that I read when I was in high school, was uh before he left, he was leaving Penelope and Telemachus, his son, behind and all that. And he had a dog, a young, like less than a year old, like a puppy. And this dog fucking loved Odysseus, loved him. But then he's gone, fighting the Trojan War for 10 years, and then
Hmm.
10 years to get back home.
Oh my
And
God.
and right, and his wife is fighting off all of the suitors and like blah 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 whatever. And when he gets back, he's like in disguise because he wants to make sure that he can do what he needs to do. And the only person that knows who he
The
is his
dog.
fucking dog. This
Mm,
almost 20-year-old dog
mm.
who's old and is laying by the bed and he and in
Perks
the
up.
book he perked up and he like licked the hand and then
Mm.
died. Just waiting for his master to come back. Held on and then died. And I was. I was a, boy in his dog story. I went, holy shit,
Mm.
that part of the book stayed with me more than anything else until I read it again. But so that kind of thing, it's that one was made up, but the stuff with your mother-in-law is real, and these two brothers in this video, that was real, people, that
There
happens.
is, there is, there. I know you always like try to like think I'm woo-woo, like I'm like,
Because you are, but that's
no,
okay.
but this is real. I think this stuff is real. Like it is real.
Yeah,
There is that kind of connection, and it's like I saw it. You know what
yeah,
I mean? And it was so I've never forgotten it
yeah,
ever.
yeah. I
So
mean, I guess what it comes down to is like, which is weird to think about, but are you able, like, is there a mechanism as a human where you can finally say, okay, now I give up?
yeah. And I think that it's like it falls in line with like placebo. If you can have a drug that's as effective as placebo,
Right.
you got a winning drug, right? I
Yeah,
think that
yeah.
our minds are so like I don't ascribe it to kind of woo-woo stuff. What I do think is that you I don't know exactly what it is, but there's just something. I mean, we only use a small percentage of our brains,
Yeah, yeah. Well,
you
my
know?
mom, my mom tells me a story when her dad died, and it's the reason that it's. I don't think it's woo woo per se, but I'm kind of falling in line here with you. Was that he was kind of incapacitated and he was old and couldn't talk and he was on like machines and stuff and my mom's there with her sister and her brother and all that and uh, one of the nurses is like he's uncomfortable. He's holding on. Like he won't he's ready to go, but he won't let go, and we don't know why, and he can't say why. And my mom's like, I get it. I know what it. She goes, my dad is the kind of guy that he took care of everything. Right. He made sure the mortgage was paid and the bills were paid and there was food here and people got their rides here and that the kids went to college and like oh, just took care of everything. And my mom goes, I bet he's really worried that we're not going to be okay. Right.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I know, right? And so she like got into his ear and she goes, hey, it's okay. We're gonna be fine. Like you taught us well enough and we'll be able to take care of all the shit that you would do. So we'll be okay. And he died. Yeah.
I
Crazy.
believe that. I
Yeah.
believe
Yeah. Oh, so
that.
do I. Yeah. My mom wouldn't lie to me. But yeah, that's
No, I know. No, I'm saying of course.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm just saying like how astute that your
Yeah.
mom
Kind of figured that out. Yeah.
figured that out and let him be released.
Yep.
Released him
That's what it was. Exactly. Yeah.
of that,
She figured
you
it out.
know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Friend of mine. I have a deal with my brother-in-law, right? He's like one of my best friends. That that if we're ever in like a vegetative state, pull the plug.
Don't even start this again.
I
Okay.
I I promised him, he promised me, pull the plug. And then another really, really close friend of mine, his mom was like the exact opposite. She goes, I don't care. You keep me alive, you fuckers, for as long, every machine, everything possible. She was so scared. She was
Oh
so
my
scared
God.
of dying. Yeah. Um, and I don't know. I don't know that part of it. I don't get. I don't get
You don't get what?
wanting to stick around and just be a burden to people. I don't get that.
I don't get that either, but we've
Yeah.
talked about this before
Yeah.
where, when I think that when you get dementia and you get stuff like that,
Yeah.
you don't, the reptilian takes over, at least in my case with my mother-in-law, like
Yeah.
what she became,
Sure.
she would be the type of person where she would have taken herself out. She would never have wanted to be a burden on
Right.
anyone. She was like the matriarch. She was like, it would. I just remember I would take her to her doctor's appointments because she needed a kidney transplant, and so I'd have to take her to dialysis like
Hmm.
every 3 times a week, and then I'd take her to her doctor's appointments, and she would lay on the table, and she would cross her feet like really petite, like
Hmm.
really like
Like proper.
really proper, and it just really showed her vulnerability in a way that like again it's those little moments where it was like she was so used to being in control, so used to
Hmm.
wielding this maternal but also business power, and she was so small.
Mm,
She's so vulnerable. So it's
yeah.
just like it's so I don't know, when you're at other people's mercy, like I always remember that too. I don't know how I feel about because I don't like it like when my husband's like, just take me out. I'm gonna take myself out. And
Cowboy
I'm
way.
like,
Fuck yeah, me too.
I know, but there's that like weird kind of male thing of like it becomes this like I'm gonna take myself out. And it's like, I don't know. I think there needs to be a balance with it. Like, you
Yeah.
know.
Okay. Well, listen, I don't know how we wound up going there, but that was an interesting conversation. So, anyway, read her book,
Yes.
Robertson. There it is.
Yeah.
Great.
And
Uh,
what's great about her, I mean, she does such a good job with this book.
yeah,
It's took her like 15 years to write. She not only has a PhD in English from University of Oxford and a JD from Stanford Law School. So she really does the legal stuff
yeah,
really well.
yeah, yeah.
Clearly, I don't have a JD from
Right.
Stanford.
Well, I did a lot of research on the town as well because that's super interesting of
Mm.
what Fall River was back then, a big industrial town, textile mills, and all that shit going on, and um, uh, it's just an interesting kind of time capsule of a story and of where we were in terms of our court system, where we were in terms of
Mhm.
society, and in terms of class structure and all of that. It really it checks a lot of boxes. So, great episode.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Good.
If you
Good.
enjoyed it, share the show, people. That helps us grow, helps other people discover the show. So rate and review, Spotify, Apple, wherever you're listening right now. Um, every little bit moves the needle. So thank you. Carolyn, anything else you'd like to add?
Nope.
All
We'll
right,
see you.
everybody.
See you next bit.
See you next week. Stay safe out there, everybody.
Bye.
From Pie in the Sky Media, Criminal Mischief is an EVO production, recorded live in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. We're produced by Brandon Morgan and myself, music by Soundstripe. For EVO Creative, I'm Carolyn Ossorio, your writer and host.